Hey, Anna, Appalachia? How is that?
Yes, yes.
Wait, those were
It's,
two slightly different pronunciations. Appalachia or Appalachia?
well, it kind of depends. I think both are technically
Oh, like
accurate.
Stefan and Stefan. Okay, got it. Got it. All right.
Exactly.
How old is your boy?
He is 7.
And your daughter?
She is 5.
Okay. And what's your son's education like? Where's he going to school? Or is he?
He goes to a public school. He is extremely smart and very bored at school most of the time. um, I don't think he's really challenged enough. He's exceptionally good with computers. Um, he's a brilliant kid. He thinks a lot. From the time they were born, I started with the attachment parenting and the baby bees and, all of that stuff. And it all worked so well. But it's not working well for him in the outside world.
Why is he in government school?
I wanted to homeschool him. You know that they come to your house when your child is about 3 or 4, they start coming to your house around here. See, the area that I live in is extremely impoverished. There's a lot of children who don't even live with their parents, a lot of drug use. I mean, in West Virginia, the drug epidemic is so bad that they can't afford to bury him. The indigent burial program is completely overwhelmed. So they're all very concerned about everyone. They show up at your house and they kind of make you feel like a criminal if you don't send them to school. And there's actually no other options that's anywhere nearby for schooling. It's homeschool or it's public school.
And so why is he in government school? Because they came to your house? You don't
Yes,
you
I'm
don't have to
afraid.
send him to government school, right?
I guess not, but I'm afraid of them.
Well, but you can get information about that, right?
True. I also
So
doubt. I mean, I have some
your
doubts about
son
myself,
feels
though.
anxious because you don't want to feel bad?
No, no, no. I don't know that I am doing him any favors if I keep him at home because he's eventually going to have to go out in the real world.
But the real world is not government school. The real
That's
world
true.
is the remnants of the free market. I mean, unless you want him to go to prison, which I hope you don't, and of course he won't. But the real world is not government schools, right? Government
Uh-huh.
schools are horrendous environments, particularly for boys. So if you
That's
like
true.
say sending someone to government school to prepare them from the real world is like locking them in a dungeon to prepare them for a life of freedom. It's not going
I
to
never
prepare
really
him for the
thought of
real
that.
world because hopefully he'll have nothing to do with that kind of coercive environment when he gets older.
Right. I don't know anyone who homeschools. Like the consensus is if you homeschool your child, they will be weird. They will be this, they will be that because no one does it here at all. Um, it's just never really seemed like something I should do. Like it's just like what you have to do is send them to school. So they'll
What
be
does your husband
normal.
say?
He he kind of leaves that up to me.
Why?
He would be very
Why? He's got a
supportive
son.
if
Well, what does he mean he leaves it up to you?
I suppose because I'm the primary caregiver.
Yeah, but he's a father. What do you mean? His son is unhappy.
Yes.
So what's he doing about it? I don't mean to be annoying. These are genuine questions. Like if your son is anxious, you said, right? He
Yes.
doesn't like going to school.
Right.
So he doesn't want to be there. So what are you going to do? I mean, you're home, right? So
Yes.
you can keep him home. You can homeschool him, right?
Yeah, I could.
So I'm trying to figure out the resistance here. You don't like what I'm saying, and I'm just trying to figure it out, right?
Right. Um, I suppose there's also an issue. I'm not sure that I'm afraid that I cannot properly educate him, that I am not adequately prepared for it.
Why not?
He's a brilliant child.
Well, do you think he's getting anything at school?
He's not now, but I believe that he will in the future
Why is that? Because
as he
the
gets older.
schooling gets so much better in Appalachia when he gets older?
No, but I would assume that the coursework would get more challenging eventually.
Does he read and study and work with computers at home?
Yes, he does.
So he's just getting smarter.
Yes.
So even if the coursework gets more challenging, he's still going to be taught by mostly idiot teachers. Like, you understand, teachers are the stupidest profession, statistically. Like, if you've got really high marks, you go into physics. You're really high IQ, you go to physics, you go to philosophy. Those are the two highest, right? It's the bottom, the dregs, who end up in the education department. And, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but statistically, it's generally the case. The teachers are the dumbest professionals on the planet. In the West.
Why? That seems so backwards.
Of course it is, but it's the government.
Why is that?
There are brilliant teachers. We've had some call into the school. I'm just talking about an average, blah, blah, blah. And
I know that.
But it's a government program, right? So, of course, it's going to be the opposite of what it should be. Sheriffs of Broward, the police in Broward County was supposed to go into the school and put lead into the bad man. But they didn't. So, no, you're not going to get quality education. And I don't know, he's got mostly female teachers, I assume.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of them have gone through the education department where they've been indoctrinated with fairly radical feminism.
Yes.
And so they have an anti-male, anti-boy bigotry. They are relentless sexists in general.
This is true.
So you're putting him into a toxic environment where he's disliked for his gender.
You're right.
So, of course, he's anxious, I would assume.
Yeah.
On average, that would be the case.
He's very much, he's very, hyperactive, nonsense. So, yes, he doesn't really fit in the mold very well. So that would make sense.
Do you need to stay in the neighborhood?
I absolutely do not want to. That is what we're actually saving up to get out of here.
Yeah, because, the drug addicts can't afford to bury the dead. Kids aren't around their parents. Kids are...
Truly.
Right?
Truly,
this is Lord of the Flies material, which you probably want to... And if you boogie out to some other place, you can find a place with more homeschooling if isolation is the concern.
Yeah, you're right. I suppose that it's not that I don't like what you're saying. It's that I already know this. And I have let social pressure keep me from doing what I should do.
And what is the social pressure from who? From the drug-addicted neighbors?
Just anyone I know. I mean, my own family is concerned about, weirdness at school, but they're coming around on that. If you don't go to school, you'll be weird. But I think that they're kind of seeing that that's not really... It's not really working out that way. It's making him weird, if anything.
I don't mean to laugh. So let me just quick question. The drug addicts and smashed up families, did those people mostly go to government schools?
Yes.
You say nobody homeschools, right? So that means that these smashed up, drug addicted, broken, drunken, beating, cheating families around you, well, those people all went to government schools. So I'm pretty sure that anything that's not that is an improvement.
You're right. It's frustrating.
Oh, it is.
To know
because you're forced to pay for it either way, right?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
That's the scam. That's the deal. But people had to go to war in the past. Now we just have to not send our kids to government schools.
Yeah, that's true. They're garbage. What kills me is that, the homeschooling requirements, I would have to teach him in order to, match up with public education standards. I would have to teach him about 2 hours a day is how it would work out.
Wait, why?
When he gets older and things get harder.
Wait, why?
Just the basic standards.
But you said he's really smart.
He is. I'm saying, at the absolute maximum, 2 hours a day.
You might be surprised how quickly a smart kid can chew through a government curricula.
Oh, I believe that. Oh, I have no doubt. I mean, that's like their minimum that they give.
Right.
Why do they put them in there for 7 hours a day? What are they doing?
Well, it's just daycare. I mean, it's It's so parents can go off and work, and governments can collect taxes from parents going off to work, and so that teachers' unions can pay their teachers. And, indoctrination is not a split-second affair. Indoctrination, it takes time. It takes time to really grind out the powder of the soul that keeps your children's personalities together. It takes quite a while to foot stomp on the face of their identity. So, yeah, you got to sand this stuff down. People resist, kids resist, and it takes time to undo the molecular personalities that keep your children together.
That's interesting. That's one thing that, I have said before. My daughter's she is not in school yet. And I've said, I don't, oh my God, there's no comparison.
Well,
She's an incredibly
that's a clue.
happy child. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, I've had a lot of doubt, and that, I don't want to make the wrong decision, because their education is such an important decision.
No, it's not. No, I'm sorry.
Well,
No, the data says that it's not at all. The data is very clear that it doesn't matter how your children are educated.
Oh, I just mean them having an education.
No, it doesn't matter.
Successful.
So, I just had this conversation with the editor of the magazine, or the journal called Intelligence. And I've heard from Charles Murray that it doesn't matter how your children are educated. It doesn't matter if they're homeschooled, if you spend $20,000 a year on public school, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, if they go to, it doesn't, in terms of how they're going to turn out, it has as much relevance to their ending IQ as school has to their height.
Right.
How smart your son is going to be is how smart your son is going to be. And at his age, there's probably about 30% of his intelligence is genetic. By the time he's 18, it's going to be over 80%. Unless he's really traumatized.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. I know we've, and the guy I was talking to today, he said that nobody can find, in terms of how life outcome goes, nobody can find that education of any kind has more than a 10% variance, which is not much.
That's amazing.
So I know we're supposed to freak out about education because that's how they sell us a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah.
But statistically, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your kid's homeschooled. It doesn't matter if, in terms of happiness, it matters. In terms of trauma, in terms of their bond with you, their trust in you. You're supposed to be there to protect them from being preyed upon, to protect them. You don't protect them from every bad experience.
No.
But you protected them from needlessly bad experiences, right? So you don't say, well, we got to bubble wrap these kids every time they go outside because they might get strawberries on their knees. But
right.
You don't, just push them down the stairs and say, well, that'll toughen you up, right? That's just abuse, right? And I don't see how you can, particularly with boys, how you can send boys to public school and be a peaceful parent. It is a toxic environment. It is an indoctrinating environment. And it will cause problems.
It has gone against everything that I do at home.
Well, so you've got to deprogram too. And then what your kid says in his heart is he says, so mom sends me to a place she really disapproves of. Why? Well, because he knows why. He knows why. It's because you're afraid of peers, and you will submit to peers, and you will submit to peer disapproval. So then what's he going to do in school? He's going to submit to peer disapproval. Oh,
that's terrifying.
Of course. It's Appalachian. Right? Not to overly cliche things, but...
No, truly, it is.
You're in get her done kind of territory, and not in a good way.
No. I'm glad to know that about the IQ, because his IQ it's higher than mine.
Which means you don't have anything to worry about as far as, keep him safe. He's got a sibling, and you don't have anything to worry about as far as his success will be in life. This is his high IQ. Is the single biggest predictor of how well he's going to do in life, and good for you. Good. All you have to do is give him a positive environment, as positive environment as you can. he'll figure things out very quickly in a way that's maybe even faster than you can teach him, particularly around computers. So if he's high IQ
absolutely.
and fascinated by computers, good thing is, Mom, his future is set. He's made.
Thank you.
Good.
I appreciate that very much.
All right. So let us know how it goes. And yeah, if you can't find anything positive in the environment, it's a free country. You can go anywhere you want.
You're right. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. And thank you, everyone, so much for calling in and for being part of this, I think, the greatest conversation in the world. He said humbly. Well, it has a huge amount to do with the listeners, who are very honest and very open and revelatory to me every time this happens. So thank you, everyone, so much. Please don't forget freedomainradio.com/donate to help out the show. Very, very important to support what it is that we're doing here. We've got some more costs, of course, with some of this travel and the speaking and so on. So if you could help us out at freedomainradio.com/donate, that'd be very, very helpful. FDRURL.com/Amazon. You can just bookmark it, throw it on your bookmark bar. FDRURL.com/Amazon. If you've got some shopping, it costs you nothing, of course. Don't forget The Art of the Argument. It's a great book, theartoftheargument.com, to pick that up. And last but not least, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Stephan Molyneux. Thank you, everyone, so much for another wonderful, wonderful evening of conversation. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night.